Hi, I'm Ian, and I'm the Retro Nerd, and I'm here with Chris Day to talk about his film Fear of Blood, and my re-edit, the noir cut of Fear of Blood.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Well, I understand that Fear of Blood is your biggest passion project you've made so far.
So far, it would be, yeah.
How long did you work on Fear of Blood?
7 years. I think that I worked really hard on this, and it started from a very short film that was awful that no one will ever see again. And I think that you learn from your mistakes, but I feel like at the same time, 7 years is a lot of fun, and I'm
During those 7 years, how badly did you want to make this film?
very, but you have to start off somewhere, and there's points in your lives where you gotta go a certain way.
What inspired Fear of Blood?
Definitely there's a movie in 2013 which I think nobody likes, but you learn at the same time. Only God Forgets, which is a huge inspiration to me. It's from an incredible director. He's very iffy on me too as well. The movie is directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, and it is a movie that I feel like really inspired me to get into making the movie and making it in the way of that. But you definitely see a lot of Michael Mann. You see also a lot himself of Martin Scorsese kind of grittiness. But I feel like that's the way you had to approach it. Mostly Refn.
For the record, I actually like that film. I really like Only God Forgives.
Yeah, thank you. That's definitely a poster I am going to put on my wall. Very, very soon.
First time I watched the film, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And then I rewatched it, and I still have problems with it, but I think it's great.
Yeah,
It's definitely a controversial movie. First time I saw it, I hated it, to be honest. And it's grown on me ever since, because You Drive is one of my favorite movies. It's my second favorite movie of all time. So someday probably maybe my favorite movie. It's so good as someday where I'd rather watch that in 2001. But, you expect a lot to go in. And it's definitely a thinking movie. You talk about the movies that are thinking movies. This is one.
yeah, I don't know, who would you say is some of your biggest inspirations? Because I see a lot of Scorsese in there. I see a lot of Orson Welles.
One of my biggest inspiration is actually James Whale. He directed Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and The Invisible Man, and The Old Dark House. All for Universal Pictures, part of their great run of horror films back in the 30s. And I love his visual style. I cannot name the director off the top of my head, but the 1925 silent Lon Chaney Sr. Family Opera. Films of that era, the short films I've made, films of that era inspire it.
Yeah, I definitely, I've seen one of your films. I didn't see all of them because, we all have adult lives. But it's really good. You see a lot of that.
You have mentioned some of the films that inspired Fear of Blood. Did any real-life events inspire Fear of Blood?
I'm not going to go into it, but yeah. Not death, but a breakup. And that's all I'll say. I think that was a definite inspiration.
That's does this have to do with the diss track that was removed?
No.
No. Okay.
No, that's a completely different one. They ended really, really badly where she called the cops a week after it was out.
She's seen it. Like, I'm serious. She has seen the verse. She has seen the diss track, and she thought it was funny. What the fuck does that mean? No, I'm literally getting messages going, you're so obsessed with her. She did it, you two were never a thing. No shit!
Oh, look, I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I'm sorry, but you're fucking with my mind, and I gotta get this out. I'm it's time, the truth has to be spoken. No mercy, we go.
Did that
Yo, I used to
scenario?
listen to the truth
Did that
and the
scenario
stories,
inspire
and I
you
look
while
at this
filming?
girl and I see royalty, and
No,
I'm
this
like,
scenario just happened
I
this
look
year.
at life and
Oh.
I
Wait,
decide,
movie
but
came
I
out,
wanna
so.
be mine, but I'm
That's
like,
true.
girl, what
That's
the
an
fuck
own
you
story
trying to
that
do to me? You break my
very
heart
much
twice,
me and my
I
dad
don't know
very
why,
frustrated.
but it's like stories I've heard don't matter.
Is that
but,
inspiring
like,
a future
I
project?
don't know why, but I'm like,
Yeah,
girl, I
inspires
don't
a lot of
know why
music.
you wanna be
There
this
was a little
way.
tidbit you were telling me about the final
I
shot
cheat.
of Fear of
Cannot
Blood,
say
because
why,
I
but
always love the
it's
final
crazy.
shot
I don't even
where he
deserve
puts the
no
cup
mercy.
down, he puts
It's
something in
like
the
no
cup,
mercy in my
and
mind,
he
but
walks
I like
off,
this hoe. I don't know
and
why,
it's
but the
great.
things I've heard, friends who lost,
I get a
don't
sense
know
of,
why,
like,
but I know why you don't
the
deserve
character
it now.
moving on to what he's going to
No
become,
mercy,
or who he
no
has become,
mercy.
accepting it or
You
something.
cheated and you
That's how I kind
lied,
of
nothing but
interpreted it. He's either moving on
mercy.
or he's
No
accepting what he has
mercy.
become.
You got fucking
But you explained to me what that was. Would you re-explain
no
it?
mercy.
It was a letter saying, I will always love you, that he put inside to know up ahead that he's always.
Yo, I used to look at this queen and I said,
Did,
why can I not be with this girl?
Was that always where the story was intended to go, or did that change over time?
It's like, what the
It was
fuck?
always that.
I
I
didn't
just
do
didn't
anything
want
wrong.
to
I tried
put
to be the
that.
best I could be, but yeah, I get upset because I'm so easily upset, and life is like this.
If you could refilm Fear of Blood right now with no budget, is there anything that you would change or do a different way?
Yeah, I would lean into the movie. Feel like he's in the movie. If you've seen who the boss, the guy who works for, I would say he's the hand, but he was supposed to be a cop, and he was pretty great on it. But I originally had him to be a cop, and unfortunately schedules happened.
If you ever had a full budget, would you remake this as a feature-length film?
Absolutely. But I think it wouldn't be in America. I think it needed to be somewhere else. You know, and I think what made Only God Forgives was it shot in Bangkok. You know, I love that scenery, and I never want to shoot it in Bangkok. And this is a huge inspiration of Only God. The Only God Forgives is the biggest inspiration for this movie. But I'm talking about if you could shoot it anywhere in the world, 100% of it. And I would edit story things, and I would add interesting elements.
How many films did you make before Fear of Blood?
This would be my third. There's one we will not.
Yeah,
Due
there's.
to the lack of how everybody says it's my finest film, and to me it's my least favorite film, and I am embarrassed by the movie, but I still consider it a movie.
Which would be Playboy and The Target.
Playboy and the Target.
One person asked me, "Are you a prick?" And I told him, "Go fuck yourself." He told me, "Fuck yourself." I said, "Go fuck a sucker." He went up to me and said, "Fuck you." I told him, "Go suck your cock or your dick." I'm Richard, and I'm a fucking playboy.
The Target, you know, I've said this on Facebook, and everybody thinks I'm a meme, which we'll save that for another time, maybe at the end of this. But I think that the Target's my Blade Runner. I just think it's not appreciated.
You know how I felt about the original cut, A Fear of Blood. I tried to be upfront and honest about how I felt about it.
And I appreciate that.
I think that it's very sloppy, the original edit. Mostly in the fights, you can tell a lot of hits don't touch or come anywhere near it. And it's a little jarring. I always could feel the passion behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of people who don't like your work or make fun of your work, they think that you throw the stuff together without any love or passion. And I try to, if I'm like, from a technical standpoint, I try to say what I think was wrong about it. Not be like, well, you clearly don't give a fuck about film because you obviously love film.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're working with no budget. You're working with what you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it like? I mean, I know what it's like, but a lot of people who watch these and make fun of them, they don't know what it's like. What is it like working with just whatever you have at hand?
It's frustrating, especially this movie. This movie was very frustrating to do because one, it's very hard to do, but at the same time, you've been working on this movie for a long time. You want it to be perfect. And I did a documentary especially on the reception because it was not the best thing to hear. It's never the best thing to hear when you work so hard on something. Get something else. So, do what you will, but I think a lot of people just think I'm a mean. That's honestly.
Any funny stories that happened during the filming?
Besides me yelling a lot because things weren't going the way they needed to. No. No, I'm serious. No, it was so much stress sometimes, especially when people were talking when they're supposed to. They don't yell. But it's a part of life. You gotta set boundaries.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that everyone in this were your friends who were probably working pro bono?
Yep. Yeah, a lot of my friends like to fuck around, but, they understand when I need to work, I need to work. And a lot of them do, a lot of them don't care, but a lot.
And it's how it is. When you work with friends, you gotta use that firm director's grip.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey Jake, it's Scott. I've been trying to get a hold of you all day, man.
Who originally voiced Scott?
Matt Beer. That was actually because Matt edited the movie, which people gave him so much shit. They said that's your least it's not a Chris Day movie. Do we need to stop real quick?
You were saying that Matt Beer, who originally edited the film, got a lot of hate.
And that, people go like, Chris Day is a meme. I'm really not. And, you've known me for a long time. Josiah has known. I hate when people call me that shit. I really do. I can't stand it because also Matt did such an incredible job editing this movie. No, it's not just me. I think you can personally agree. He did such an incredible job editing the film. He added city scopes that weren't included in the movie. He created voiceover so that we could make a very interesting beginning to the film, which you also did put as well for the noir cut, which fit it perfectly. But he did a very good job. I just feel like people didn't give him the respect.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the negative response has impacted your life?
It's not been easy. At the same time, you do what you have to. Things are going to happen. People are going to not expect a movie quite like it. Max said a really funny vlog. I knew he was on it. He just wanted to make a comedy thing. And when he did it, it was right after the movie. I'm like, that was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. But at the same time, some of the comments are okay. A lot of people are just being honest. A lot are just negative. And, you got to roll with the punches. I was a boxer for a reason. You got to just keep getting hit and then get back up. That's the best I can say.
Well, and I want to restate, and this is not to perturb you, I want to restate what my feelings were of the original cut before we get into the noir cut. I believe I said to you I liked it for the wrong reasons, that I felt there was amateurish mistakes that made it funny.
Josiah loved it. Josiah loved them. So I was surprised by that.
Hey, you got anything to say to the people who just go out of their way to say mean things?
You know what? You guys probably got to stick so up your ass. I won't say enough. But, I've learned this from a friend of mine, is that people always have things that are going on that make them hateful. And it's a part of life. But you got to just go with the punches, like I've said, and, just ignore them. That's the best I can say. And that's the best I can say to anybody And it's part of the reason why people. So the thing I have about short films, and the reason why I wanted to do my mark before I move on, which I'm just about to. I got one more movie I'm trying to finish shooting that is very film noir, and of course, I'd love to get Ian to help out with that. But I keep telling people the reason why I created these short film awards was due to people putting their hard work in. People put their hard work in things, and I can't not praise that. And my question for you is: a lot of people have talked to me recently, and they've asked me, do they think Chris Day could get nominated? Considering the fact short film awards are coming out in a couple months, and we have the deadlock, and I think I was talking to you about being one of the guys to help us pick. Do you think there's a shot?
I think that anybody who's passionate enough has a shot.
Yeah.
Hard work and passion can go a long way. Let's talk about the noir edition of Fear of Blood. When I watched Fear of Blood originally, I saw what the story was, and I saw what I felt like were a little bit of editing mistakes, and I don't want to say Matt Beer did a bad job, because I don't think he did. And me recutting the film was no disrespect to Matt Beer. I took his overall editing, and I just worked around it and tried to tighten it up. And I took a little bit of footage from the beginning of the target to extend out the opening, and I redid the ADR to stretch it out a little bit and to change what was said slightly.
Hey Jake, it's Scott. I've been trying to get through to you all day.
I did this little thing, I'm not sure if you noticed. I wanted to keep your face mostly in shadow.
I didn't notice that. Actually.
Yeah. So I changed the contrast when I turned it black and white, which was a suggestion by you.
Yes, it was.
Which was something I was already thinking about. Which allowed me, being in black and white, allowed me to change the contrast and introduce a little bit of my visual style of the silent films and the old horror movies. So I took what I originally thought was a kind of bland shot. You looking in the mirror, and then you come out and you turn around. I messed with the contrast, and I think when you turn, I've made it into the poster. I think that I've made an iconic shot.
I will go into that. I will visit that, and I will do that.
I tried to take what was good about it originally and just make it a little bit more cinematic and a little bit more iconic, which Matt Beer's version was, as it was originally intended, is in color. It is harder with no money to fix color than it is black and white. Black and white's easy. If you just know what you're doing when it comes to the contrast, it's easy.
That's the whole reason why with the case, which is the best neon noir to this day. And I think that's the reason why the case itself, which is coming out October 20th, which I'd love to have you edit because I think you'd be perfect for it. But was meant to be black and white because the movie is, I still have to reshoot some stuff, but the movie is most meant to be black and white because it's gritty. It represents the truth.
Yes.
Of what it was. And I feel like movies today, there's some I think that do that perfectly. Blue Velvet, which I just recently saw, has become one of my favorite movies. I would also say another one of myself. I would say Prisoners. I would also say Seven. The list can go on and on and on. But I feel like people, film's never dead. Look at movies today that, people say there's musicals and westerns are dead. Hell or High Water got nominated for Best Picture. And it was an incredible western. I consider it a western. A lot of people don't, but I do. La La Land, 6 Academy Awards. Should have won Best Picture. Didn't. But, things happen for a reason. So I think the same thing goes in neo-noir. It happens. I think definitely there could be possibly I think it's coming back. I do. And, the question is when. You just got to get things done.
So, speaking more about the black and white, I feel like it gives the contrast of black and white, good and evil. It's, the simplistic version, and keeping you in the shadow for most of it, or half shadowed, it gives the appearance that your person's half in the darkness, half in the light. And I only wanted to have one time you are clearly visible, and that is when you open the door and you go get the baseball bat, and that is you deciding to go do violence, and I decided to make that as bright as possible, and that's your darkest moment, is you deciding to go do something violent, but I made it the most bright part of it, bending the lines of right and wrong. I would probably say this might be my best editing job I've ever done on something.
You know, out of all the movies I've seen, yeah, I agree with that. It's pretty fantastic.
I just try to make it sweet and simple. Is there a cut you like more, or do you love both?
You know, he just did an audio one, which was mostly just the score, which I really liked as well. I think these three are kind of the representation of a trilogy. And I think, I don't know if we're going to do another one. I think this was just like the three I think we were meant to do. I think it's completed now. And out of all of them, I love them each separately. I think each have a voice to be recognized with. So, you know, I like all of them. I think they all have a voice.
The feedback that I've been getting for the Noir cut has been mostly positive. I've only gotten a couple of negative reviews, and I think that's good. It shows that even people who didn't like the original cut see that there was something there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you gave me permission to re-edit it. I'm glad that we were able to make this great piece of art together.
Yep. Now let's get to Criterion.
So, thank you for joining me. And I have one announcement I would like to make, but you'll have to tell me whether this is okay or not. I would like to give the first 3 people who comment below a positive comment on the film a signed poster, either the first poster I created or the critical response poster, signed by me, with a burned DVD of the copyright-free music version.
And how about we just give them a Blu-ray copy?
I don't have a way to do Blu-ray. That's why I gotta do DVD.
That works. That works.
And it'll be in a custom case. First 3 people. Anywhere in America, and I will send it to you. You'll get it at some point before the end of the year. This is not a joke.
So, yeah, this is not a joke at all, guys. But I will say this. I will try to get a signed copy to you guys. I'll try to get one out. Maybe we'll do one where I can do a contest.
Do you have anything you'd like to say before you sign off?
I don't. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. The haters, fuck yourselves. But besides that, thank you guys so much for having me, and I appreciate the time.
I know you've got to go. I thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope people enjoyed this look into what we're created, how it's come to be, and thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I will talk to you later, Chris.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you all for joining me and Chris Day as we talked about both the original cut for Your Blood and my Noir cut. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found some things insightful. Now, you may be wondering, is he joking about the signed posters and DVDs? No, I am not. The first 3 people to comment below on this video and over on either of my cuts of Fear of Blood a positive comment about the film and also state that you want the poster and the DVD will get a free signed poster and burned DVD that will include both the royalty-free music version of the Noir cut and this interview you just watched. So if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. I need to take this moment to special thank a couple of people, both Roman R. Busy, who has a Facebook page where he writes his film reviews, link below, also check him out. His reviews are long. And Joey Hollywood, a fellow YouTuber. If not for these two individuals, I would have never have learned who the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Day himself is. So I thank them for helping me get to the point to make these videos. At this moment, I also need to thank my sponsor, Boot Crate, the only subscription service that sends you 4 crates a year filled with boots for your car and boots for your feet. Thank you, Boot Crate. You keep food in my mouth. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you did. Share it with your friends. Or don't. I don't care. See you all next time. What was that? What kind of outside was that? Just don't watch my videos.